Hey guys, it's Miss Frizzle and welcome back to my channel. We are back with episode 2 of Crochet Color Theory. No matter how you're accessing the yarn that you're using for this project, it's most important that you understand our 3 major tools within color for creating a smooth gradient. You might remember them from the first video. They're hue, value, and chroma. Hue is when we organize colors by their order on the color wheel. You can also think of this as the order in the rainbow, aka Roy G. Biv. Organizing things by hue can also be considered organizing them by temperature. Say you're using a ton of different blues. You can organize those blues from the warmest blue, which would be the blue that is closest to a green, and the coolest blue, which would be the blue that is closest to purple. So it's not always a tool that you have to use in between different color families. It can also be something that you use to help you organize a bunch of different colors that are within the same hue family. Our second tool, value, is organizing by lightness versus darkness. Whenever I'm trying to organize by value, I will usually do my best to try and sort my yarn by the lightest to the darkest, and then I'll take a picture on my phone so that I can get rid of all of the distractions of color and reduce everything down to just its value. This really helps me see if I need to switch out any colors within my dark to light gradient in order to make it more smooth. Welcome to our first practice round where I turn this mess into something that actually makes a little more sense. First, I'm going to go ahead and organize these colors by their hue family, going from more of a red, yellow, green, blue, and white, which is kind of like a miscellaneous color that you can place wherever you want. I then am going to organize by value while still trying to keep that same order of color. Organizing a gradient by hue and value is a total power move. Look how good that looks. Our last tool is going to be chroma, which is brightness or saturation versus dull, muted, or grayed down. It can be incredibly helpful for organizing your gradients, especially if the colors that you are working with are all in the general hue family and they're all the same general value. That's when you go and use chroma. When organizing by chroma, I start with a bright color, a gray, and then something in between. You can then add as many steps as you'd like in between those 3 hues to give you a nice gradation. I love this one. So I like to refer to these as our color trinity. And trade secret, these are the 3 traits that are used to describe color in like every single creative industry ever. So you're kind of like a color theory master now. Another important thing to consider when we are talking about our holy trinity of color is to think about these spectrums not as linear, but instead as continuums. For example, our hue color wheel is a continuum. You can repeat circles and circles around this continuum however you would like, in whatever direction you would like. I want you to think about value and chroma in the same way. It's harder to find a value wheel or a chroma wheel, but all we really have to do is just think about a linear line of color being organized instead in a circle. Besides using hue, value, and chroma in your toolbox, there's this extra special little key to creating the best gradient possible that not a lot of people talk about, but is very, very important. This little special key is called color equidistance. At least that's what it's called by me, and you're watching my video. When I refer to color equidistance, I am referring to the distance in which each color can be plotted on its continuum being equal. When plotting out or planning a gradient, especially if you're looking to purchase yarns rather than just working with what you have available, you will often be color swatching different yarns from within a path drawn on a continuum. Kind of like in the first video where I drew a path between our yellow and our purple on the color wheel, and it was just a straight line right down the middle that I then cherry picked colors from. What you'll notice is that each of these colors were equidistant from one another. When I added a third color, that third color was equidistant right in the middle of the 2 original colors on the color wheel. And when I added 2 more colors after that, those colors were equidistant from one end in the middle and the other end in the middle. The same thing applies to when you're organizing by value or chroma. You want the steps in between each color to be the same level of intensity. As you can see in our chroma gradient, the 2 ends are transitioning much more smoothly than the colors in the middle. This is a sign that those colors in the middle are not equidistant from each other. We can fix this by physically creating more distance between those colors by adding a 2 together mixture, just like we did in level 5 of the first video. This creates the illusion of equidistance without having to buy any more yarn colors. I am dedicating the last segment of this video to those of you who are choosing straight out of a limited selection from your yarn stash. Creating a gradient, be it a blanket, a sweater, a scarf, is actually a fantastic way to stash bust, especially if you are using a bunch of yarn that is the same weight and type. In order to kind of show you guys the process of finding gradients and organizing gradients within a limited palette of color, we are going to go ahead and take a whole bunch of random colors from my cotton yarn stash, and I will organize them exactly how I would if I were trying to figure out how to make gradients within a limited yarn selection. All right, guys, it's time to put our knowledge to the test. We're gonna go ahead and start by sorting everything by value because that's the easiest to test using that phone trick. It can be really hard to organize a bunch of different colors by value, so if you don't get this right on the first time, don't worry, neither did I. Just turn down the saturation on that photo and fix any of the mistakes in your gradient that you can find. I actually thought that I had fixed all of mine here until I looked at this in post and realized I didn't, but we're gonna ignore that so I don't go insane. Our next step is to organize everything into their hue families, while still keeping them in their general order of value. This will help you identify if there are any outliers that don't have a lot of similar colors. Then you can choose to get rid of them in order to create a better gradient with all the remaining colors available. After that, you have a lot of options. You can use all of those individual color families to make your gradient, or you can put one or two together to make a gradient, or you can smash everything together in one line where you sort by both hue family and value. While this doesn't go from just light to dark once, it does repeat that gradient several times, which also counts for a smooth gradient. Now it's time to sort things by chroma. You don't have to do this if you already liked your gradients from the previous steps, but sorting everything into a group of bright colors and a group of more dull colors while still keeping them in their hue order and value order can be a really great way to get a more cohesive gradient with a smaller amount of colors. And it's just a really good way to get more options than you might have with the other methods. All right, guys, well, that about sums up our second episode in the gradient saga of crochet color theory. I will see you guys after the holiday for our third installment of this series, which will be a crochet practice along. It will be a very long video, but you will be able to find exactly the level of gradient that you are trying to emulate based on the chapters that I will be putting in that video, and follow along step by step as I crochet with you. But in the meantime, I hope you guys had so much fun following along with this little color theory deep dive. And if you have any more questions or suggestions for crochet color theory videos that I can plan on doing after this gradient saga is over, I would love to hear them in the comments below. If you would like to further support me and what I do, you can go ahead and buy my crochet pattern for the Polka-Stripe jumper. And of course, you can always become one of my lovely channel members. I don't have a lot of special perks that I'm able to provide right now, other than my eternal love and gratitude and affection and yeah. But anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for all of your support on that first video. It means so much to me to be entering this crochet community online, and I'm so happy to be here. Love you guys. See you soon and happy holidays.